We have a new favorite band from the 80s.
It's China Crisis. Okay, so last year on the 80s cruise, on the first night, they announced who the bands are going to be for the next year. And one of the bands that they named was China Crisis. And I'm embarrassed to admit, I really was not familiar with them, like at all.
I wasn't either, but neither was probably 95% of the people on the cruise.
Because they tend to be more popular in the UK, and they are an 80s band. They were just one that we weren't real familiar with. So, of course, we did our research and started listening to them. And our daughter actually gave us this record that's up here, and we really enjoyed them.
Yeah, they are a best-kept secret, for sure.
One of their songs is actually called Best Kept Secret.
See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Best kept secret.
These guys are out of Liverpool, so they're big over in the UK, and hopefully they'll get bigger in the US.
Well, I know on the 80s cruise, those of us who showed up at their concerts and discovered them were like really impressed. Yeah. They were so much fun. And not only great performers, but also just really nice guys.
Yeah, so the two main singers, the original guys from the band, are Gary Daly and Eddie London.
So these guys got their start at age 19. They were young, just youngsters back in the day.
Young pups.
So this is Eddie Edmund London. Eddie and myself met at school. The largest all-boys, all-Catholic school in Europe at the time. Now this would have been around about 1975, 76, when we would have been 15, 15 actually. Now that boys' school was 2,600 boys from the ages of 11 to 16. And they were all 2,598 of them horrors. Whereas these two boys were devilishly handsome and very talented.
I bet they got into a little bit of trouble.
They claimed they were really good boys, and I'm sure they were.
Gary seems a little ornery to me.
He does.
Mischievous? Eddie seems like he would be the voice of reason between the two.
Okay.
And Gary would be just trying to get into all kinds of trouble.
I mean, that could be true. So Gary does lead vocals, and Eddie is guitar, and then they have added two younger, newer members.
Which Abby really liked.
Well, that was Eric and Jack, and I met them on day one of the cruise. So I have a little story. Okay, so we were out at poolside for, I think it was at the sail away party, like day one.
It was, yeah.
And I was over at the bar, and I saw these guys that were wearing gold cards. And we all have, cruisers have red or blue cards. So I was like, I wonder if those guys are with one of the bands. But they were super young to be from an 80s band. So I just asked them. I was like, hey, are you guys with one of the bands? And they said, yes. And I said, which one? And they said, China Crisis. So I was like, oh, I've really been enjoying your music and all of that. So I ended up buying them drinks. We get free drinks, but the guys from the band have to pay for their drinks. So I got drinks and then just gave it to them. So I made some instant friends. We took a picture, which I will insert here for you guys to see, of me with Eric and Jack. And then I came back to Keith and our friends, and I was like, well, I already met somebody from China Crisis and was bragging about it.
Jack is really talented, and one thing Jack did is he recreated all the original recordings of China Crisis.
And he excels in keyboards work, obviously, as you've heard, so well, but he's a great programmer as well. Tell him how you did it, Jack.
So, met the guys about 8 years ago, and they walked me through all the synths and drum machines and stuff that they used to make the original tracks. So, kind of like got my hands on as much as I could to recreate them, and I had a great time doing it, and spent a long time, a lot of work, and a lot of meetings with the guys to get it perfect.
Which you did.
Nice. Yeah. Woo.
Give it up for Jack.
so cool. And Eric was able to recreate the China Crisis sound from his saxophone, but also he has this like electronic saxophone thingy. I don't know if there's a name for that.
It's like a digital sax. It's cool.
It's really cool.
That electronic gizmo that you've seen Eric playing, did you take any notice of that? Everybody Eric, on that instrument, is a... Alright. Eric seems to have picked up his own little fan club here. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Hanneman and the China Crisis Band!
So even before we saw China Crisis perform, we got to see them at the Family Feud Battle of the Bands, where they went head-to-head against Autograph.
And that was hilarious
Yeah.
and so much fun.
First up, please welcome to the stage, make some noise for China Crisis, everybody. Let them hear it. Come on over, come on down, come on down. And they're up against Autograph. Make some noise for Autograph. Come on up, kids. Name something you blow. A trumpet. A trumpet. Show us trumpet. A balloon. A balloon. Show us balloon. A saxophone. Show us saxophone. Okay, something you blow. Come on. A flute. Blow a flute.
Play with the musical
Show us
instruments,
flute.
man.
Blow a Show us kiss. China Crisis wins the round.
So then we finally got to see China Crisis perform, and they really blew us away. Between their music act and also just their banter was so fun.
Yeah, they had great banter, great connection with the audience.
Lots of audience participation, which was neat.
Right, Ed's going to show you what clap and when to do it, and I'll signal for you to stop so you don't clap over my lovely singing.
And even though I didn't know like all of the songs, by the end, I was singing along, and by the second show, I definitely was singing along because we saw them twice.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen very often. Usually you might catch a band once, unless you really like them and you intentionally see them twice, which we did with China Crisis.
We did, and I was messaging all of our friends on our Facebook message board and telling the other cruisers, go to the China Crisis concert. It is so good. And I think their second concert, they had a lot more cruisers at that one than they did in their first.
Yeah, I think the word started getting around the boat a little bit from, what we were doing and what
guys
other
are
people
good.
were doing. Said, hey, you got to come check these guys out. So word started spreading.
Yeah.
And I think at the second show, they had a much better attendance.
Coming from England, I feel like, we're on my trip of the world now. Yeah, across the pond for this next band. You know who you're here to see, of course.
Oh my gosh, there's a set list here. But I think you know exactly what you're looking forward to. So please welcome tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the Gawson, the ones with the cakes. It is China Crisis.
Always Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great time the rest of the evening. Thank you. Good night.
So after the show, we were dressed in our pop icon costumes, by the way, for that first one because it was pop icon night. So
I was dressed up as Pee Wee Herman.
I was Miss Yvonne, but I was on the front row at China Crisis as Miss Yvonne. So Gary probably thought that I just had red hair, but we introduced ourselves to him afterwards. We actually spotted him, kind of chased him down a little bit, and we're like, hey, we just went to your show, and we had the record with us. And look, I'll show you guys.
It was more than Abby just chasing him down.
Was I stalking him a little bit?
Yeah, she was stalking him.
Okay.
She was looking, she had her eye out for him.
He was so gracious and so nice. So he signed our album, and he wrote on there, to Abby, thanks for bopping along. Gary Daly. So that was super fun. I was bopping along at the concert, and I'm glad he noticed. And we also got the set list. I think we got this after the second show. So the bands always have their set list, and people who are paying attention that are kind of close by can sometimes snag one of these. So those are always fun to see how many you can get. This was our first one.
Yeah.
So we got their high C set list. And then Gary also does artwork, and he created these stickers, and he gave us a sticker. So thank you, Gary, for that.
Yeah, so we traded our channel sticker
did.
for Gary's sticker.
We traded stickers. How fun was that?
And how 80s is that?
That's so 80s.
Trading stickers.
So Keith, what is your favorite China Crisis song?
They have a lot of good songs, but I'd say probably my favorite is Arizona Sky.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It is very pretty.
It's a really pretty song.
I like that one.
You know, Best Kept Secret is really good too.
Yes.
Yeah. Abby, how about you?
I have a couple. I really like King in a Catholic Style. And then probably my favorite is called Fire and Steel. So if you haven't listened to China Crisis music, we are going to put some clips in this video, but we would highly encourage you, after you watch this video, to go and look them up and start listening. I think you'll really enjoy their music. So we also got to learn a little bit about the band's inspiration.
We would have grown up on prog rock, and then we would have got into new wave, Talking Heads and Devo and all these kind of people. But at the same time, we would have heard songs like McCartney and Mulligan Tyre and Rod Stewart Sailing and Christopher Cross. He was a big one, wasn't he? Did he have Sailing as well? So what I'm going to say to you is that music permeated us as much as the cool stuff. It was a bit of the naff stuff that was in the charts as well.
And they didn't mention it in the video, but they were also inspired by Depeche Mode.
Yeah, they tributed them at their concert, and they also did a little tribute to Nile Rodgers, who we recently saw, who opened for Duran Duran. So that was fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Nile Rodgers on guitar!
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about our new favorite band, China Crisis, and be sure and go check out their music after you're done here.
And if you're lucky enough to live in the UK, they're touring right now. So get off your butt and go see them in person.
Do it. Music's always better live.
And tell them we said hi.